What is up, guys? Coop here, and today we're going to be playing Teon. Today's going to be part 2, and today we're not specifically going to be questing and leveling and that sort of thing. Today we're going to be focusing more on customizing your UI and a few neat kind of cool tricks to kind of help you out, especially when going for your journey. Now, if you do actually want to see me start leveling, we will be doing that shortly after this, but today I just wanted to specifically focus on some of the cool things and some of the different things that you can do. Now, as you can see, obviously we just finished the starting area and it's kind of thriving. There's tons of people everywhere right now. So, it's good to see that this game has a lot of longevity and a lot of player base. So, let's actually dive in and talk about the UI. So, a lot of you guys already know from my previous videos that you can kind of hold down your sort of finger and drag anywhere around your sort of screen to place your items or attacks. So, that's very cool as well. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy, though, is their actual sort of settings here. You can have anything from canceling the sort of suffixes and like sort of different sound effects. You can turn off the sort of music, which I turned it off because honestly I kind of got tired of it. You can turn on things like locking your hotkeys. You can align it to the left for you guys who are left-handed. I'll put it to the right for those people who are right-handed. You can show your different attacks, attacker select, multi-touch, and I'm gonna actually turn on level display. Now eventually you can do different hotkeys setups, but that'll be kind of later on. They also have a lot of different feedback buttons that are really cool, and then also you can look at the studio and stuff as well. So it's really cool to see all these different things here. Now, one of the things I did want to show you guys specifically as well is a lot of the other different buttons here, because there's a lot of different buttons and a lot of different things that could actually be helpful. The first thing I wanted to mention, though, is if you at any point you really don't feel like you understand a lot of things, you can do tutorials, which they give you a lot of good tutorials. Most of them you already saw in the beginning tutorial, but then you got stuff like your advanced videos, which they might be loading in a second, but then you got a lot of player upload videos as well. Which are very cool. It shows you different walkthroughs and things, and all these are really helpful, and it's really cool to see kind of the community do these different sort of uploads to help out everybody around. So that's really cool, and I highly suggest you guys take a look at that. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you guys is specifically also the map. So the map shows you obviously players. You can see all the different players around you. You can see what areas are sort of thriving. Most of the time when you see a lot of players, it's usually sort of town squares and whatnot. Then you also have the world map, which as you can see, the map is pretty big. Some of these, it looks like they are not opened up yet. But it's still cool nonetheless to see all these different types of maps and everything. So it just shows you a kind of a scale of how big they're going here. So, which is very curious. Now, the next thing we can do is NPCs. So there's a variety of different NPCs, and they all do a little bit of different things here. You've got stuff like the island dungeon, you've got these different character names, so maybe they're related to a quest and you really can't find them. Or maybe you want to find the weapon shop. It'll show you the actual sort of coordinates for it, and then if you tap it, it actually shows you an arrow to help you find your target. So that's something that we're going to definitely be using, especially as we explore some of these shops today. Now, the next is obviously, if we look at this, socials. So there's a variety of different clans that you can join, and the thing with clans is it's kind of like a guild-based system. So you have your different castles, your names, your leaders, and members, which are all super nice. Then you have your teams, and then you have your friends list. So it's very established and very helpful, especially if you are wanting to sort of become friends with people. Now, it's a little bit complicated to actually explain how you become friends with people, but honestly, most of the time you just kind of select the person, so you tap on the person, then you'll have their little icon up here on the top. Then what you do is you tap that, and then you have a variety of different things. You can team with them, so you can group up and do quests together and dungeons together. You can add a friend, you can trade with them, you can private message, report them for cheating, or just look at their character info. So this guy is level 28. It looks like he has no clan, and I don't know what this quite means yet, but we'll find that out eventually over time. And it's just cool to see that. So we can do all these. Oh, I did not mean to attack that person, but it's just really nice because we can actually do all these different things and understand all these different people. So that is like a really cool system to look at as well. Now, the next thing is obviously your quest journal. What is really cool about this quest journal is it shows you all the different quests that you can possibly get. So it shows you all the side quests and it shows you the main quests. Main quests obviously are the ones that you should probably do when you get to that level point. But basically I could look at this and be like, okay, so I can get a quest from this specific person. Now, say like I want to make sure and see if I completed all my other different quests, I can just look at the completed area. So right now I need to find Delis from crafting, which that person's right there. But if we actually walk away a little bit here, so I'm just going to walk far, far away from him, we can use what we kind of learned and sort of find him that way. So we'll go over to the map, click on the map, go to NPC, and scroll down until we find his name, which does from crafting, direction, arrow will point us right to him. And if you look at that, we have found him already. So that's super helpful, especially when you're trying to do that. And as you can see, the arrow goes away once you find your target. Also, you'll notice a lot of these weird people walking around with like different like looks and everything, and you're like, what is going on? Keep in mind, that is a polymorph scroll. Remember that they get special bonuses or differences depending on what sort of polymorph that they have. Alright, so we've looked at all these different things. Now let's actually look at the spell books. So the spell books are a little bit different. You are going to get a lot of different spells later on. As you can see, there's tons of spells. That's why you have so many hotkeys. It's not that you just get like 5 or 6 spells. You actually get a lot more later on, especially as you start doing dungeons and things. And you will have to obviously find ways to get them. Now, keep in mind, everybody kind of gets access to a variety of different spells. You're not that special, but keep in mind you do have to meet the requirements. So, certain people get certain spells, for example, such as teleport. Everybody gets teleport, it looks like, but if you go to some of the other stuff, which, like right here, only royals get this. So, royal level 20 can get Curse of Poison, while the other classes cannot. So that's very important to keep in mind. It just shows you a variety of all the different spells. This shows you specific to your class. So this is for only elves only. So, and we'll figure out different ways to sort of get them. And then temporary spells kind of come from like quests or items and things of that nature. Which we'll get into that more later on as time kind of goes on. Now, one of the things you'll notice right here is you have this constant like sort of blipping item up here in the top. But if you actually look at this, this shows you a variety of the different sort of events that are going on, all the different drop rates. So it shows you like events like, hey, double the drop rates for this. And then it shows you some of the new toys. It also has a Teon survival guide, which is very helpful, especially for you newer players out there. So if you specifically want to learn some information, follow the different games, understand a little bit more about this game, it's very helpful. Honestly, a lot of the tutorials are just video based and very simplistic. They don't BS around. They really give a lot of passion to this game, which I can greatly appreciate, especially from a gaming company. So that's definitely something to check out. And then it also shows you updates, so it shows you if anything changed. So if like say like something feels a little buggy, they'll tell you like, hey, we fixed like some of the bugs, or it'll show you like all the different characters things that you do. Casting animation for triple arrow has been optimized, so that's also very helpful. So that's really cool to look at. Now I guess one of the biggest things that we should probably look at first as well is a shop real quick. So I'm going to show you just in general one of the shops, which I believe is to the north. So we'll go in here real quick and I'll show you that. So the shops are very simple sort of UI. It's nothing too crazy. You just kind of go over here. And, oh, I did not mean to attack her. Let's chat with her actually. So sometimes I accidentally like shoot at people all the time. But one of the things that you can always do, which is very helpful, is tap them and also select them and then hit chat. So makes it very easy. Now I am playing on a computer. Keep in mind everything with this will be optimized for a phone. So anytime I say click, it just means tapping instead. Now, as you can see here, we could buy and sell. So if I wanted to sell, they don't have anything that they want from me. If we actually look at our bags, we really don't have much that they could actually get. The candles are kind of more helpful for us. Everything's kind of more for us, honestly. So let's actually go in and buy some stuff. So we have a variety of different things here. We've got candles, which just illuminate a small area, lamps, which illuminate a medium area, and lanterns, which illuminate a large area. So one of the things you're going to notice is a lot of people have like kind of this like little circle that follows them around. So if I actually walk around, you can see that. It helps light up the game a little bit more, especially when you're going into some of those darker areas where it's kind of a pain. So that's also very important to sort of look at. So kerosene, fuel for the lamp, because God knows you're going to need that. Wand of Expel, it's basically one that can remove, or wait, a wand that can force a target to move within a certain distance. So it's just kind of like a nice little backup. So that's very helpful for, I guess, range-based characters. And now we have different healing potions. So this one recovers some health. This one recovers, let's see, can be used to recover HP. So it looks like this is probably a little bit better than this one, I'm assuming, because of the cooldown. But oh, okay, yeah. One's a lesser healing potion, the other one's are actual healing potion, so that's really nice. Haste is what gives you that sort of boost. We saw that a lot in the tutorial where we had that boost on the top right corner, so that's very important to keep in mind as well. And then we have Cure Poison, so we can just cure any poison that we have. Meat, which is just fresh meat. I don't know what we could exactly use for that. We have Scroll of Resurrection, so that's very helpful, especially when we start doing dungeons. We're probably going to need to use these a lot. Now, they are a little costly, though. Scroll of Escape, so with every type of dungeon crawler, once you kind of finish a dungeon, you kind of want to escape or kind of go back to the nearest town. You can actually just use this, or maybe you've been questing and you have to walk really far away. This is very helpful as well. And it looks like it's basically kind of the same thing. It's just it will random teleport you to other places, so teleportation is a little bit different. Now, let's look at this. This can purge a curse on some equipment, so I'm assuming eventually we're going to find some curses on some equipment and have to get rid of that. Scroll of Identify, we already saw how this works. It actually shows us what the hidden attributes and kind of stats are of our different items there. Special runes to recover damaged weapons, so we're going to have to repair our weapons, it looks like over time. And then Scroll of Teleportation. Let's see, that randomly generates you to other places. Interesting. Oh, this is blessed, too. Interesting. I'm really curious to see the difference between these two. We might have to test that out in like a video. And then level 1 polymorph, where basically it will allow us to polymorph into something to help us out with our basic aggression of other creatures. So, as you can see, very helpful in general. But I just wanted today to show you kind of like a short guide. I just wanted to show you guys how to customize your UI a little bit, some of the little tips and tricks that I've learned, and then from there we're actually going to start leveling. We're going to be trying to get ourselves up to level 30, which I'm super excited to do. We're probably going to be doing a little bit of shopping to get into that, and then we're going to be questing, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the dungeons and other exciting things in here. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.